All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How you doing today?
Good morning, Carlos. Well, I'm doing good. Better than our friends in Florida who are coping with the storm.
Yes.
Fortunately, it's been losing steam significantly. I was just watching a video of the field of Tropicana Stadium that apparently got torn off. The stadium was going to be used as an emergency shelter, but it doesn't work quite as well without a roof. So, in any event, fortunately, it's down to a Cat 1, which means it's again not as destructive. But if you were in the path on the Tampa side, you're not feeling much comfort in that because it still hit hard. So, hopefully everybody's okay. And if you're from Florida and you're here, then I guess that's good news because you are. Thor's here, so he's still, got internet power. That's something.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Glad to see that has come down in Cat 1. Is that's like a regular storm for you guys down there. So hopefully that stays that way or lower. All right, friends, let's jump right in. This morning, quick look at our gappers list right now. We do have a couple of things in the red and in the green. Names we haven't seen before. None of our usual suspects are on this list. If you look at the gap down, a couple of names we haven't seen in a while, and then on the gap up as well, same thing. A couple of names we haven't looked at in some time. So we'll dive into all of that as we get through our gappers list. But before we do that, guys, let's jump with Peter to our U.S. economic calendar. What is scheduled for today?
Yeah, we got a ton of stuff happening today. Today and tomorrow, the two big days of the week with economic data early. We just had the information come out on jobless claims, initial and continuing jobless claims, and then the CPI, the Consumer Price Index. So let's start with jobless claims. Two numbers there. Initial jobless claims is expected to be around 230,000, came out at 258, so more people claiming unemployment than was anticipated, and the continuing jobless claims are also up from 1.83 million to 1.86 million. So more people claiming unemployment this month or this past month. So I guess that's good from a market perspective because generally that means it's a cooling economy, which means we can drop interest rates. But I don't know. Nowadays, I don't even know what to expect, right? I mean, looking at the Qs and the SPY right now, they seem to be dropping off of that news because maybe they're dropping because on the other side, the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, is higher than expected. We got expected around 0.2% for the month over month for September, 0.1, 0.2 was delivered. The core was forecast at 0.2 and was 0.3. So however you measure it, it's a tenth of a percentage point higher or double the rate if you want to look at it that way, but it's probably not a real fair way because if you look at it from a year over year perspective, the forecast was on the base to be at 2.3% and it's at 2.4. So yeah, tenth of a percent. I don't know. These markets are reacting strange to economic data these days, so it's tough to tell what you can take from it. I mean, all you have to do is wait and watch. And right now, the market seems to be going down. So, that's I won't read anything into it other than that is what's happening. We have a whole slate of Fed speakers today. You can see I've got a few of them listed here with Cook speaking at 9:15, Goolsbee at 10, Barkin at 10:30. There's the New York Fed, whose name I forget offhand, who's supposed to be speaking at Williams. Williams is speaking at 11. I just ran out of room on my sheet to fill them all in. So, look, you never know with these ones these days if they're going to say anything that's going to move the market, especially in light of this economic data. So we just have to wait and see. Right, we'll find out, but just be aware there's a bunch of Fed speakers, so you may see strange movement in the markets this morning. After 11 o'clock, though, I've got nothing on the slate. So there really shouldn't be anything that's going to affect the markets from big news. From an economic data point of view, I'm waiting to see if we're going to get international news, because we're waiting on so many things, right? We've got wars that could affect the market. We've got the Chinese situation, which we'll talk about a little bit later. We got lots of stuff that's going on out there. So the market can could be erratic at any time. I just want everybody to be thinking about that as you're trading, right? Always make sure you've got your protection plan in place should things go in a direction you don't anticipate. But from an economic point of view, that's what we got. Now we can look at our gappers.
Yeah, absolutely. Jumping into our gappers list today, friends. We'll start with the first one on here, which is Wheeler. This is a low flow, 624,000 shares flow. So very low flow stock. We've seen this one before, be on our list plenty of times, gapping up and down here. Today, they're up almost 16%. 451,000 shares traded at the moment. Again, it doesn't look good. The few times I looked at this one, Peter, I did not like it. I don't like it today either. So let me know your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, it's a REIT, so I never like it. It's got a low float too, like less than 1 million shares in the float. It's amazing to me that it keeps popping up on our list. But I usually just avoid these. If you don't, a REIT, by the way, a real estate investment trust. Basically, it's a bucket of money to buy real estate investment, whether it's companies. They don't usually buy specific properties. They usually buy property groups. They're just tough to trade. They're erratic because they tend to be held in big blocks, and you get these big block movements that happen suddenly, and then you get nothing for hours, and then another big block movement. So again, the fact that it keeps popping up on our list, maybe somebody's buying those big blocks real early. I'm just going to check it here. Is that even the profile? Yeah, you can sort of see that profile. We got almost no volume, and then suddenly there's the group of volume around 7:15. There's a bunch of volume at 8, and then nothing the rest of the time. Like literally a couple of hundred shares being traded, right? So it's it's just virtually impossible to trade. I'm staying away from it.
Same here. I don't like it one bit. Let's go over to the next one. GXO. So this one on here, it is up 10% at 264,000 shares traded. Another one that doesn't really get great volume. Not a low flow. It's sitting at 117 million shares flow, but same situation here. Very light volume throughout their days. Even yesterday, only 1.7 looks like at best. So not a big fan of the way this trades. And usually when you have stocks that have such a low volume, even on days where they're gapping up, maybe on some news, this is what their day looks like, what their trading intraday action looks like. All right, very, very light volume. You can't even see any bars down here. So yeah, not a fan of that. Very difficult to read the price action when you have that type of volume. Peter, obviously some news for them. They're up 10% today. What's taking place in their end?
GXO. It sounds more like a model of a car than a company to me. But anyways, apparently GXO is a spinoff of XPO. They're both shipping and logistics companies. XPO has been on our list. I don't think I've ever seen GXO on our list before. But apparently they're here because they're considering a potential sale. So they are people. I love when you get the news that they're exploring a sale according to people familiar with the matter. It's very, very vague. So anyways, I don't know what that would mean, how much it would be valued, but the stock is moving on anticipation of a potential buyout. I don't think the volume is going to continue sufficiently to make it effectively tradable. That would be my assumption.
Yeah, I don't like the way this looks, so we'll leave it alone. Next one on the list is CELH, another one that we've seen here plenty of times as well. Never makes my list, rarely, and today does look like one of those days where it's just not looking good. Man, just a stock doesn't trade very well, even when it gaps up and down here. So, man, this list so far has not been good to us. So, Peter, any news on Celsius Holdings?
CELH. Again, this is one that's appeared from time to time. We talked about them, Carlos. I even bought some of their drinks to try it, and then was told they're going to kill me. So
I forgot. Yeah, this is this ticker. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, I forget those guys are actually public. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, we had a whole thing on them because it was their earnings or something, and I don't remember. Anyways, but I just remember I tried one. It was actually quite tasty, but then I was told it would cause health problems if you drink too much of it. So don't do that. So I didn't do it again. Anyways, clearly others don't care and they're drinking the stuff because it's still publicly traded. However, why is it moving today? I really don't know. I mean, they had earnings, but their earnings, blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to even see the outcome of their earnings. Looks like they beat their numbers. Reported revenues of 402 million, up 23.4%. Maybe we did that, Carlos. Maybe we gave a bump from last time because of our little plug. I still haven't seen my promo deal for it, but probably because I said negative things. So yeah, it tasted delicious.
Yeah,
Not sure about how healthy it is, but anyway.
we definitely
But
did not
yeah,
get our
I mean,
check for this.
it's earnings. I don't, even when I was drinking it back then, I still never traded it. The price action sort of looks decent yesterday. If I just look back a couple of days, it sort of looks like it was trading okay, but I don't know. I'm not sure what to do with it because I don't have confidence that the trading volume, the trading price action is going to be something I want to get involved with.
Yeah, same here, man. We'll leave that alone here. Let's take a look at AVGO this morning, up 3%, 282,000 shares traded. The last couple of days, we've seen a huge increase in volume starting October 3rd. You see this nice little pop here from 5 to 630 almost, and then all the way up to 775 the following day. The last couple of days, not so good on volume, so it might just return back to its regular very low volume trading, which is what we've been seeing over the last couple of days. So when you have that low volume, I mean, this is, if you guys never watch a stock that does this with this type of wicks on the 5 minute, it is very, very difficult to trade. So not liking that. Again, we'll skip on this one, Peter, unless you have anything you want to share. But for the most part, not really in play today.
They do have a couple of pieces of news. They signed an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, with Delta Electronics to develop a new charging architecture, the next generation charging architecture. So that's nice, but they haven't actually done anything with it yet. They just have an agreement to do so with another company. They did also get an upgrade from UBS, more than doubling their price target from $4 to $8.50. So, yeah, some good news for them. But like you said, Carlos, I just look at the daily trading volume on this. It's not something to really pay attention to. It seems like to me they've had good volume over the last couple of days, but it's been declining, and I don't see any reason why we would expect to do anything but continue to decline. I don't know why we missed it at the beginning of the month, though, Carlos. I mean, I guess it looks like it was maybe like it was 121 million shares there on October the 3rd, with a pretty big percentage move. So 50%, but I must have happened midday, I guess, because I don't remember. We never talked about it.
Yeah.
Did we? I don't remember.
I don't recall talking about it, either that, or we'll have to go back and look at what our watches looked like that day, because remember, we had some days where there was so much going on that this could have just been stuck in the background, way in the background. So who knows? But yeah, don't like it today. Wow, nothing so far. Yes, on my watch list, friends. Let's take a look at XBEV, our ex good buddy, not anymore. It is up 2.31 million shares traded. Again, just a little bit of movement here today. By the way, speaking of EV vehicles, today we got Tesla's event is happening this evening, which is 7 Pacific time. So we'll see what Tesla does. We'll be watching that one, guys. Right now, pretty flat for the most part, but that will be on my list. I'll add that now since we're talking about EVs at the moment. And we'll see how it's going to react. It's going to be after hours, right? It will be 10 o'clock our time, so it's pretty late. So market will be closed. We'll see the action on this on tomorrow morning. All right. So XBEV, nothing on that, Peter. I don't like it. Anything on your end when it comes to XBEV or even Tesla today?
Not on XBEV. Tesla. Yeah, I mean, I just like Tesla generally as a trader. I don't know that there's any any news on it, because the news is coming tonight, right? This cyber cab, the robo taxi, call it what you want. It's all happening tonight. Well, tonight from our perspective, right? Because it's happening after the market closes. So Tesla hasn't shown any signs of slowing its price action movement in advance of that. Again, yesterday had some sizable movement, I guess. It was moving multiple dollars. Probably will again today, is my guess. But yeah, tomorrow we'll definitely be talking about it. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, is Elon going to announce anything, huge? I don't know. My gut is that he's going to sort of say things that we expect, and it's not ready yet, but it's coming. Like, it's going to be an announcement for the announcement. That's my guess, but I could be wrong. I don't know. We'll all find out together.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. All right. Tesla on deck, my friends. And then that covers our gap up. I mean, we don't have a lot on here that look great. All this stuff looks pretty shady to me as far as intraday action. Yeah. Peter, what do you have on the gap up that you like this morning?
Well, I got to talk quickly. Delta Airlines, while it's still gapping up, because it was up and now it's back almost to break even.
Yeah.
It's barely gapping up right now by like 2 cents. So they had earnings this morning, and this is the first quarterly report since the whole CrowdStrike incident, if you remember. So they are definitely, blaming the CrowdStrike outage for their woes. They missed their numbers. Now, CrowdStrike, well, I guess it could be blamed for the revenue if you want to, but certainly on the earnings side, because it would have driven a lot of cost to them. But they missed top and bottom line. They actually had disappointing forward-looking guidance. I mean, it wasn't out of line. The analyst community was expecting $1.78 for the next quarter. They said, well, we'll deliver somewhere between $1.60 and $1.85, which really puts them at the low end, right? Because they'd have to be at the top end of their guidance to hit the analyst expectations. So it's sort of disappointing. I don't know. See, now Delta's red. Now it's red by 85 cents. It's jumping all over the place.
Yeah.
Delta, I think, I probably will watch it just to see what happens. The airlines are tricky. The airlines used to be a lot of fun to trade for a period of time, but they're just tricky. So yeah, I'll watch it, but unlikely to trade it today.
Yeah, and the one that was fun, really, we had a lot of fun with American Airlines and CCL. We went through a period, I want to say maybe 8 months, where we had these stocks every day on our list, right? It was just that good. But yeah, we haven't seen that in a very long time. Will be interesting to see what Delta does, though. It is in play today, 1.3 million shares traded, pretty flat right now. So it's down quite a bit, and now in the green, and now back in the red. So let's see where it goes. I'm going to put it on here. Might not stay on my main list if I find something better to trade. Our gappers list is not helping us with that at all. But this morning, if we find something better to trade, I might move it down. But for today, I think it's worth putting on the list based on what we have at the moment. Peter, before we go to the gap down, anything else that you have that's slightly up that maybe you want to talk about?
That was it for the gap up. Most of the things are red on the screen. So surprised to see some of the Chinese offerings green this morning. Not by much, but they are in the green. I'm seeing JD. I'm seeing Baba. I'm seeing PDD. They're all sort of green this morning, which is odd, a little unexpected. Because we do have some news. Since we're going to the gap down, I'll sort of, I'm talking about China. Apple had some news overnight that there was 4 Taiwanese employees of the so-called iPhone City, which is there's, I guess, this giant manufacturing center where people, they live there. They basically make iPhones in some sort of indentured servitude model, it sounds like, in some landlocked province of China. But anyways, this is news only because these are 4 sort of, it sounds like executives in the company. They're all Taiwanese. They're all arrested in and they work for the Foxconn, which is the company that does all this iPhone build stuff in this factory in China. And there's tons of I don't know, uncertainty around what happened, right? Is it a legitimate arrest? Did they do something illegal? There was suggestion that it may be police revenge because they they actually arrested these 4 guys a few months ago, and they're still angry with them. I don't know what's going on, but the bigger news for me out of that is that it's just another knock on the erosion of confidence in doing business in China. And there was a suggestion that Apple may start to look for other manufacturing options outside of China. Now, this iPhone city is literally a city. Like they have schools, they have hospitals. It's all within the manufacturing center, of course, living accommodations and everything. So you literally raise your family, and these people will live in this manufacturing center. So it would be a massive blow, obviously, to that local economy, but also to confidence in China if Apple was to move. Now, this is not Apple that said that. I want to be clear, right? This was speculation that they may look for other options, but it just feels like another blow on an economy that's also struggling. And last thing that area needs, of course, is to ratchet up tensions between Taiwan and mainland China. So anyways, it's all sort of interesting in what's happening. But as I said, all of that sort of backdrop, I was expecting to see China down with more concern, but that didn't seem to translate. So, all right.
Yeah. I see that now. Apple's got some little bit of volume today. Not anything great, but it is moving here slightly. All right, let's looking at our gap down list. We only have one, TXG. We had others, but those seem to Delta was on here when I first got on this morning, and now it's disappeared. It's moving up and down. Only left TXG on this gap down list today. So looking at TXG this morning, they're down 27%. So big drop for them. 564,000 shares traded. They don't get great volume. They're not a low flow. They're sitting at 104 million shares flow. So pretty decent size. I don't think we ever looked at this, Peter. What kind of stock is this? I don't even know what this is. TXG. Your
They're
thoughts
a
on this?
gene sequencing company. So 10x Genomics is the name of the company. So 10xG. I guess once you understand what the company name is, it makes sense. 10x
Yeah, it makes
Genomics.
sense.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anyways, they had their earnings, and it was disappointing. That being said, I mean, this is a company that makes, that had they delivered $151 million of earnings versus a consensus estimate of $162 million. So we're talking about a relatively small company with modest earnings. Anyways, I mean, it's got a $2.5 billion valuation, and we've got 100 million shares in the float. But I mean, we're talking about 600 million in annual sales, roughly, and they missed their numbers, so they're being punished for it this morning. Again, I look at the trading volume, Carlos. You can see here, there's only about 500,000 shares that get traded on a daily basis. That's not enough for my interest. Actually, I show about 1 million, 1.4, but still, unless I'm seeing about 5 million shares traded, it's not what I want to focus on. So.
Yeah. Leaving this one alone, friends. Again, doesn't look great. Love the gap down, but aside from that, I don't like much on this one with the way it trades. All right, looking at our what we have left here, guys, Tesla and Delta. I mean, we talked about Apple a little bit, and they are getting some volume here, so we'll be watching that one. I'm going to add it to my list. Their daily does look great here. Had a great day yesterday, by the way. They had a beautiful day yesterday. If you look at the charts here, let me bring that up. I mean, they just took off. They traded very clean, beautiful breakout, held on to the 9 on the 5-minute chart here and never really looked back. I mean, that was just awesome all the way to the late parts of the afternoon. So they traded very good yesterday. A little bit of a pullback this morning, almost 1%. So I think it might be worth watching them here and see what kind of action we're going to get today out of them. Peter, for the gap down, I know you have some stuff that might have been red on your screen on your side.
Well, we already talked about Apple. We talked about Delta, which is also red. Pretty much, you can pick any semiconductor stock; they're all red. Even AMD. AMD was green a second ago, but it just dropped back below. So yeah, semis are all down this morning. Yesterday was sort of a disappointing day in semiconductor trading. Didn't really get any good movement. I mean, I ended up trading Google of all things, which is not what I normally trade. So, yeah, it was a little disappointing. But maybe we'll get better price action today. Microsoft, I was keeping an eye on just because Microsoft, like I think Carlos, you mentioned yesterday, it's sort of been on a downturn over the last 3 weeks, and looked like it was going to be making a bounce back yesterday. It did manage to climb higher up until about midday, but then dropped again. So might keep an eye on Microsoft. Other than that, you can sort of pick almost any sector. I was looking at a sector map earlier, and they're pretty much all lot of sort of red going on. So it's
Yeah.
sort of a down day. We're starting the market feeling down.
Yeah, we are feeling a little bit sluggish here and red. Looking at the SPY. The SPY dropped after the news at 8:30. Numbers came out. You can see there we have a drop so far. We have not recovered. We're trying to build a base here. We'll see where that goes and how it drives other tickers this morning. So right now, my list, guys, Tesla, Delta, and Apple. Let's take a look at what you guys like so far on your end. We're looking at our chat here. Amazon is popping. Let's take a look at our good buddy Amazon. Their Prime ended yesterday, right? I didn't buy anything, but I saw them say, got it. Yeah, I got the alert. Hey, 8 hours left. I'm like, okay, I don't need nothing right now. I told my wife, hey, it's Prime. She's like, yeah, no, I don't need nothing. So we didn't buy nothing. We didn't contribute.
It's fascinating how Amazon moves like the entire retail scene. Like I was just doing stuff yesterday. I needed new shoes and like sort of sports shoes. And I was going to like a local sports store, and they said, enter this code for 30% off for our Cyber Days sale. I'm like, these are guys, they run like a local chain of sports stores. Why are they having Cyber Days? The only reason was because they were trying to compete with Amazon, and therefore they were offering these fairly big discounts. So, I mean, I guess it worked. I bought from them because, their discount was good. And, I only needed one pair, but I bought two because then I got free shipping. But it was interesting to me how like they are reacting to that type of pressure and competition that Amazon is putting on all retailers, right? So Amazon Days. Now, typically, the interesting thing is that typically Amazon stock doesn't do that well once the reports come out of Amazon Days. Even after the Amazon Prime results come out, and usually it's like we had record sales of blah blah blah. I've found that often the trading is sort of depressed, and you don't get a bump relative to that movement, even though it's like sort of their biggest sales day of the year. Like even I've got my Amazon Prime account, and I know like Mike likes to talk about his he gets shipping like in hours. The best I can do is 24 hours in my region here. But even now, like some of the stuff that I did order, I'll admit, because there was some books, because I like to read, and there was stuff on sale. They wouldn't guarantee me a shipping date. They're like, it'll come next week sometime, probably.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
no,
okay.
the speed that we're getting things in is out of control. It really is. It's wild. Amazon has changed the game for sure. But Cyber Monday, Cyber whatever, or Amazon Prime, it changes the way people think. I agree with you on that, Peter. I'm surprised we don't. Do we have a Prime deal? We don't. We got to talk to our marketing people. We need a Prime deal.
Into that.
Amazon go. No, we need to go. We need to do this. Look, you bought some shoes. We need to get a Prime deal going here. I think it's a great idea. Yeah. Let's buy one.
I got some
one,
stuff. My wife
off.
ordered like a weighted vest to like do fitness and stuff. And anyways, that came real quick. But some of my books are like, it doesn't even have a delivery date for me. I want my books.
That's interesting.
Anyway,
interesting. There's Amazon, guys, up 1.3, 864,000 shares traded right now. Someone mentioned this in our members tab. I like Amazon. Could be good today. Let's see. Again, normally Prime does nothing for these guys. We've seen it many, many times. We don't get a huge move on Amazon on Prime, but they look decent today. Maybe today they can kind of prove us wrong here. So Amazon looking good. We'll add them to the list this morning. Taking a look at what else our friends are looking at over on the BBT chat. MSTR. I don't like this as much. Usually when this is in play, there's something else that's trading slightly better that I prefer. Today they're up almost 1%, 844,000. Again, usually when they're looking really good. Something else catches my attention that's a little bit better. So if you like this stock, you can put it on your list. I don't think I ever traded this one. Is it in play? We got some volume here. We're slightly in the green. It was up high of almost $4 from the pre-market high. So we got the range today, which is nice. Yeah, I think it's secondary for me. Might be worth watching. But if you like it, I think it is in play. It looks in play right now. I think it's worth adding on to the list there. All right, let's head over to our YouTube chat and see what you guys like this morning. We're starting here with David Ball. He's giving us PayPal. PayPal this morning down 2.8. Oh, that's a nice little drop on PayPal. Light volume, 176,000 shares traded. This stock used to be a good one for us. Hasn't been that way anymore. Any news, Peter? This drop seems a little bit slightly aggressive compared to what the market is doing, which is pretty flat for a lot of tickers. But this was down 2.8 this morning. Might be something going on there. Not sure. So while we look for that, I'll put on my secondary. Yeah.
Yeah,
going on with PayPal.
They had a downgrade this morning. So that Bernstein downgraded them, worried about competitive pressures in the market. I don't normally trade upgrades and downgrades, but yeah, that's the only news I see.
All right. We'll keep PayPal there. Nike NKE this morning. That's not much going on. It's up 1%, but I don't see a lot happening here. Nike's tough to trade. Very, very difficult stock. This is your typical Nike stock, man. They don't get great volume in the pre-market. They can trade well when they have news. And even then, the last news event we got, they didn't really trade that well. They gapped down with their CEO. They pulled back their guidance because of the new CEO starting. So they kind of pushed their numbers back and all that. The market obviously doesn't like that. That was a big news event, the last one we had, and we didn't really get great trading out of it. So unless there's any big news on Nike, they're not that great of a intraday trading stock. So I'm going to leave it off my list for now.
Well,
heading over.
Maybe the market's changing their mind on that because they did get an upgrade this morning. And in the statement of the upgrade, they said that they feel positive about the retailers' recovery and that the fact that they're going to, make a turnaround here. So I guess, there's a little bit of confidence in the CEO.
Yeah, they have a lot of. I mean, they had a nice gap up when they announced them, right? So yeah, they have some confidence in this guy. He's done well before. Maybe he can do it again. United Airlines gapping down, I see here. So coming up on our gappers list. So United Airlines gapping down. We know Delta is leading the way on this news here. American Airlines down a bit, 1.4, and Delta now back into, still hanging out at the downside of things. I have Delta here. American Airlines will probably be another one I'll watch. They tend to get great volume. They had a nice pop yesterday over to 1220. Again, I got a long-term position on this thing, and that's looking pretty good right now. So let's see where it goes. But 1.5 already as far as volume, a down 1.4, and then Delta 1.4 as well. A million shares traded, down 1.6. So let's just see if they can intraday trade very well. For the most part, they haven't been all that amazing. All right, let's stop here, guys. Let's get into our community events and announcements and see what's happening there. I see moderators already coming in with their list. We got Lenny, we got Thor, we got Mike. But before we get to that, let's do a couple of things, and we'll see what's happening for this beautiful Thursday.
And yeah. Speaking of the community, I was just looking. Maybach posted a picture of. He said this is a tornado that happened in his backyard yesterday. So we got moderators in danger's way here. Hopefully he did okay with that. That looks scary. Based on this photo, Maybach, it also looks like you've got a highway running through your backyard. That can never be good, but anyways, I guess that's what happens. It looks like you're in Florida somewhere based on the trees. But I love the name though. Maybach, are you is that aspirational, or are you actually, are you like one of these? You have one of these cars? I love the Maybachs. They're a high-end modifier of Mercedes, right? A Maybach is probably the super high-end car. So if you got one, then credit to you. Yeah, they're pretty sweet. Anyways, all right, enough of that. But thank you, Maybach, for sharing that. It's always cool. At least you were safe, so it's good to see that you made it through. It is Thursday today, which means that we do our mentorship sessions all day today, and we've got 4 of them to talk to you about. Starting with John at 11 a.m. John's going to talk about whatever you want. Usually it's a small group focused mentorship session. Hopefully you'll join him at 11 a.m. for that, for our elite members in the webinar room. Then we've got Jared and Megan. Hopefully Jared and Megan. I know Megan, she was supposed to be trading live with us this morning, but instead we've got Paris because Megan's running a fever of about 130. Apparently her head is on fire. I'm exaggerating maybe slightly, but she's just not feeling well. So hopefully she's doing okay. I know she said she was not getting up at this time and is resting out there. So take care, Megan. But anyways, hopefully she'll be there to help Jared with the options mentorship session. If not, he's got it. Don't worry. He'll take care of you, and you can join him at 2. Lenny will be talking equities at 4 p.m. in the webinar room. And then, of course, Thor does his usual session 8 o'clock, assuming the storm allows him to do so. But he's here this morning. He seems to be doing well. Hopefully the family stays dry and safe and the house is good and the pool doesn't flood and all that stuff. So that's our scheduled events, and we're assuming we'll let you know if there's any changes to that schedule. If you want to join us here at Bearable Traders, take advantage of those mentorship sessions. You need to be an elite member, which means you need an elite monthly or annual membership. You can, if you just want to sort of kick the tires and see what this community is like, you can go with a basic membership or just join with the intro, which gives you that 1 week access. And of course, if you've never done it and you're listening to me right now, you can use bearabletraders.com/YouTube. Whether you're listening to this live or recorded, you can take advantage of that deal. So go there, do that. It's only $1. We do that just to keep all the bots and the spammers away. We don't need them in here because they're cheap and they won't pay the buck. So there you go. Hopefully we'll see you soon. If you want to get all the information that we get and see the markets in all their glory, for active traders, there's no better place to go than tradingterminal.com. It's designed to be your one-stop shop for all your trading needs. We got everything in there from the calendar of events, which is, coming more relevant, of course. Not only do we have economic events in there, but we've got all the earnings, which are starting to kick off again with earnings season. The fundamental data, of course, all of your charting and your scanners and the whole stuff. Check it out. Check all those tabs, and they'll give you a whole ton of information that you can use in your trading day. All right. Carlos, we've got some levels to set. What time? We're not doing bad on time. We're running.
No, we're doing good.
Morning.
Yeah,
we're doing good.
Yeah, we're doing good. I don't have that many levels to set. Only Tesla, Delta, Apple, and Amazon. So we'll do that now. And if Peter has a rant nearby, we have time for that too. So we'll see what we get into this morning.
I wasn't
Friends,
planning
but if you haven't done so already, I know you wasn't, but if you do, we got time. If you haven't done so already, though, there is time for this. Hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. We really appreciate it. It does help us out a ton. We're sitting at a all-time low of 106. We love to be a little bit higher. 300 is our goal by the time we end this show. We normally don't hit that, but if we could, that would be great. So help us there. Really, really appreciate it. Friends, let's get to some levels here. We'll start with Tesla this morning. Tesla's looking good. Look at the support you're getting here right at the previous day close a couple of times. We just keep slamming into that. And notice the support. We gap up, then following day right back to that gap up again, the following day right back down. And today we're just kind of seeing what's next. And if you notice, this is a support line and which is kind of higher lows, right? So I think today is going to be interesting. And also for sure, tomorrow is going to be very interesting, giving the event coming up for Tesla this evening. So it's going to be after hours. If you missed, it's going to be at 7 p.m. Pacific time. So the markets will be closed at that time. So tomorrow, which is kind of nice because things will settle down, and tomorrow we can probably get some good, clean trading. Hopefully, if it gaps up or down, it's still enough for us to get some good intraday action, right? So that's the best thing that we can possibly get here on Tesla. But for this morning, high of the pre-market, we're going to be looking at 244.30. We'll slam one there, and then towards the bottom, we're looking at 241.25, just slightly above the previous day close. And then we're surrounded by the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. Towards the top, you're pretty good. A couple of levels there, so don't need to add anymore. And then towards the bottom, I just want to add this one here, 237.79. And once you do that, you're pretty set when it comes to a Tesla. Delta Airlines with some news this morning. I have them here. I'm not liking them as much, I'll be honest. They look very, very choppy right now. as far as the pre-market goes. And they haven't been trading well in the intraday, so I'm not that excited about it. But let's see. 47.44 is a good one. 52.23 is another great level towards the top there. That's your highs and your lows. And then in between there, you're covering, this range is covering the last, 2-3 weeks, right, of the price action. So you got tons of levels on the daily. You got the highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. Previous day close. We have this level here at 49. We have another one at 48.30. I mean, there's plenty within that pre-market high and low. Now, looking outside of that picture, in case we drop lower, another great level at 46.43, and then we also have one at 44.86. Towards the top, we have our most recent highs, which is going to be up around 53.19. That is the big level of resistance. But between there and the pre-market high, there's a midpoint here that I think is worth noting. It's going to be 52.76. If we do decide to get into the green, I think that is a great target for a possible profit area or changing direction if we are going to have resistance. Looking at Apple today, Apple again down almost 1% here. Had a big day yesterday, and I say big because not so much the daily, just how clean it traded. Like, it really took off, gave you some really healthy pullbacks, and it just kept going almost the entire day until probably like about 2 hours towards the market end. That's when it just kind of went flat here. But for the most part, gave you a solid trading day with plenty of opportunities. Looking at their intraday action now, high of the pre-market just below the previous day close at 229. I think it's worth marking that. And you can see that previous day close is where people are going to keep their eyes on, because you do have a lot of resistance there. Every time we get up there, only twice we've been able to get above that in the last month or so. We just keep getting slammed down. So, and that's exactly where we stopped yesterday, right? We stopped right on there as well. So today, pulling back from those highs, low of the pre-market right now is 227.64. That is where we're trying to hold. So we'll put that low of the pre-market there. That might not stick around for long. But if you look at the price action, though, on the daily, I still might leave that there, even if we get a new pre-market low, because look where that's sitting. That is sitting where you have a lot of days opening and closing on the daily. A little bit of rejection there. So I think it's worth having that level there anyways, even if you get a new pre-market low. Towards the bottom, highs and lows for the last 2 trading days are doing a good job. I don't think you need to add anything else on Apple. Towards the top, if we break out, I'm just going to take the most recent highs over here at 233. The few times we broke out of this area, which we seem to struggle on, look how nice we ran up to that 233. So let's see if that is in the cards for Apple. But right now we're seeing a little bit of some weakness on the Apple price action. On Amazon this morning, high of the pre-market, we're looking at 188. Again, their Prime Day usually doesn't affect them as much, but maybe today that could be a difference there. 190.77 towards the top, another great level there. And obviously this is a very clean and clear level, 194.55. Now, towards the bottom, you do have your highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. They're doing an amazing job. Previous day close is covering your pre-market low, basically. So I don't think you need to add anything else. Just these 3 levels towards the top, and you are set on Amazon. That is my list: Tesla, Delta, Apple, and Amazon. Peter, what do you have on your end?
I can talk about what all our moderators have. So I'll start with mine if you want, because I'm going to be watching AMD, Tesla, and NVIDIA, my usual suspects. And then I will keep an eye on Delta just to see what it does. Apple, because I'm curious whether it's going to have any impact. It had, like you said, a good day yesterday. We'll see what happens with it today. And then PayPal, just because people mentioned it, and I'm curious to see where it goes. Lenny's going to be watching Amazon, PayPal, Tesla, and NVIDIA, Thor, Amazon, AMD, NVIDIA, and the SPY, which, by the way, record close yesterday. So SPY was, like motoring today, pulling back, maybe an inside day, but we'll see what happens with it. Mike is going to be watching just Apple and AMD. Avi's going to be watching Amazon, Apple, and NVIDIA, the usual suspects. Phil will be watching NVIDIA, Tesla, Amazon, and Bubba. I do have one IPO to let you know about, scheduled to open anyways, SkyQ, SKYQ. So let you know if and when that opens. And Pierre is going to be watching NVIDIA, AMD, Tesla, Baba, and Amazon. Now, I'm looking for Paris's list. Hopefully he jumps in with that, because I think Paris said he was going to cover for Megan this morning, who's feeling under the weather. And if he does that, then he'll be here live to trade the open. So that should be awesome. With Brian, of course, he's almost always here. And Brian came in with his list. He just said ditto to what Pierre said. Pierre's gonna be watching NVIDIA, AMD, Tesla, Baba, and Amazon. And Brian said, sounds good to me. I'll watch that too. So There you go. Sai is asking, does the SPY or Qs ever do stock splits? No, they don't. Remember, SPY and
No, yeah.
QQQ are just ETFs, right? It's a tracking ETF for the market itself, right? Like the actual market index is SPX $ if you're in the DOS platform. If you're in something else, it might be something else. So you just keep in mind, those are just, they're really tracking, right? Like the Q are just a tracking, again, for the NASDAQ. So it's not directly, they're not going to split generally. They can split. I don't think I've ever seen them split because they just track the market, right? So anyways, if you've got other things that you're trading, let us know. Now's the time. We want to hear any new tickers. So yeah, if I misspoke, guys, don't. ETFs can split in general. Absolutely, they can. Those specific ones, I don't think do. But I might be wrong.
Yeah. And never seen them do that or heard of them doing that. So I'm with you.
Split.
Someone's asking.
So you wanted to rant? I'll take you guys quickly.
Oh yeah, let's go. Market. Yeah.
Did anybody else have a Microsoft random upgrade this morning on their Office suite? I always leave my computer on. I came in the morning and it said, hey, here's your upgrade, and do you want to change your settings? I'm like, what the hell? I didn't. Who authorized this? I didn't.
So I was having issues with my mic this morning and nothing's changed. I'm like, why is my mic not working? And I went back and I did notice I have it checked off automatic upgrades, and it did something that screwed up my mic this morning. So I was running a little bit late. But yeah, the updates, man. It's not fun.
I know, they just happened. Look, I was looking at my book here, and even Kindles upgrade. Oh, are we even on the?
Yeah, I see it. I see your Kindle.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Anyways, look, my Kindle's upgrading right now. I can't even read a damn book because it's busy. It's busy updating it. Hate updates. So there you go. I guess everybody, we're not alone, Carlos. A lot of people are saying that they're getting Windows patches. So, but it's annoying, right? You're trying to do something and then you're stuck here. You're just fine. I'll wait. We don't like to wait. I have to admit, it's one of those, like, I rant sometimes that we don't like to wait in our culture, and then we get annoyed. Like, these are minor problems. Like, even just yesterday, my wife was telling me, because I'm looking at buying a car, and I need a car for the winter when I put away my summer car. And she's just like, just take an Uber everywhere. Rent a car when you want to go on a trip or do something big. And I'm like, you know what? And I did the math, and it would be cheaper. It would actually be cheaper to do that than to buy a car. But it's just cheaper. A pain.
Yeah.
But you got to call somebody. You got to wait.
You know what I do now, right? Now, if I'm going anywhere outside of like my area, like 200 plus miles, 150 miles, I just rent a car. You get a flat tire, you break down, deal with that. Give me a new car. So like, even if I have a nice, comfortable car that I don't mind taking long trips in, but just the hassle, like if something goes wrong, it's on you. If you rent a car, just take it back and take another one. So it's the comfort, right? That you don't have to deal with that. And man, and God forbid you have to tow this thing off the highway. I mean, geez, it's crazy how expensive this is. That's all covered by the renting company. So just rent a car, let them deal with it. So I agree.
Homer's asking,
your wife knows what she's talking about.
Can I get snow tires for the Porsche? I don't know if they must sell snow tires. I mean, they're made for Germany. They get snow. There must be, but like the back tires are like that wide, right? Like I can't, like a snow tire that wide is not going to be that effective. And you're not allowed to use studs on the roads in Ontario, or chains. So I don't know what it would actually look like, but I haven't even tried. It's not the snow that bothers me. It's a 4-wheel drive. So, that would be fine, but it's the salt that would just chew the heck out of it. So I'm not even going to bother putting it on the road because, it's a fun car, and winter driving is fun, but you want to slide things sideways. I don't think I want to slide the Porsche sideways. It's more fun to take an SUV and, just turn off all the traction controls and slide that thing around. So.
Yep. Very nice. Do we have roadside assistance? I do, but I'd rather just replace it, not deal with it. I'd rather do that. And roadside assistant here in the US, man, it sucks. Like when they're busy, you could wait. I don't care what service you have. You're waiting like 2-3 hours. It is brutal. It is not fun. they can't figure this thing out, man. So I don't know, interesting stuff. But all right, Peter, my friend, we'll let you do your thing. As oh, you're not training live today. Who's training live today? It's
No,
Brian and
it shouldn't be. Paris should be here. He's said that he would take
okay,
over for Megan. So, Brent, has he
nice.
shown any signs of logging in yet? I don't see him.
I don't see any signs of them logging in yet. So
Okay.
you got to rant for a little bit. I know, Peter, you told me you had some good IT stories back in the day when you worked IT. Maybe you can share one.
IT story. I'm not sure everybody likes IT stories. But yeah, we were talking IT earlier. Yeah, working in IT was always interesting because people would do like crazy things. There was this one guy that I loved who he got himself fired from Nortel Networks. If you remember back in the day, he was an IT support guy. He used to work on the mainframe systems, and he figured out by accident that if he or I don't know how he figured it out, but he had like this big ring, and if he ran the ring over the back of the frame, he could cause it to crash. So this is a guy he always wanted overtime. So apparently, regularly Friday at around 4 o'clock, he'd run his ring around the back of it. The mainframe would crash. They couldn't figure out why was it always crashing on Fridays. What was going on? Somebody must be running a batch program, or they're doing something, right? What's the problem? They finally figured out, no, the guy just wanted some overtime. So he would crash it. He would, get 4 or 5 hours of overtime. He'd go home late on a Friday and, was a happy guy. Obviously, all the users of that system were not very happy. So I always love those stories. Yeah. But anyways, I see Paris. I see him here. The helicopter's going. He's
there. It is. Paris.
Good morning, Paris.
House.
How are you?
Hey, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Awesome. Yeah, back in time. Sorry.
Sorry, that was my fault.
I'm gonna
Brian
let
as well.
That was my fault.
I'm gonna let Brian and Paris take over here, guys. Have a great trading day. We'll see you guys tomorrow again at 8:30 here. Take care, guys.
Take care, everybody.
Cheers.
Trade smart.
Thank you, Carlos. Thanks, Peter.
Hey, thank
Good
you,
morning,
Carlos.
Paris.
Thanks, Peter. Okay, how are you, Brian? Good morning.
Very, very cool. Very good. Thank you very much. And yeah, how are you doing today?
I am good. Just to get ready, I woke up early and then did shave and then did my hair. And now I'm in the
Now we're ready to rock.
hopefully,
It better be a good day with all that effort.
yeah, hopefully I don't embarrass myself in the chat room.
Yeah. Yeah. I probably put less effort into my hair than you did this morning. So anyway, we did have some numbers. We had the CPI data, which I'm sure Peter talked about. Came in a little hotter than expected, 0.2% core versus 0.1 expected. So maybe a little bit of a disappointment there when those numbers came out. It's looking less likely that the Fed's going to be doing any more aggressive rate cuts anytime soon. And what else have we got here? We've got just if you want to look at Bookmap here, someone was asking about Tesla. Right now, it's looking a little bit balanced, a little bit of downside selling. We do have Tesla's robotaxi event today. Not sure when that's going to happen. Let's see if we can see.
So I'm watching Delta Airlines. It did sell off, but it's bought back up and now is at the same price that it dropped off from. So it has some mixed results showcased. some loss due to the global outage in the tech. So currently it's below that. So I'll be looking for a sign of weakness to short the delta. From a daily standpoint, it's daily standpoint. It also is looking for a pullback. Nvidia looks weak for now.
Yeah, I'm looking at NVIDIA. If you can
Paris,
get down
Brian,
to,
sorry to interrupt. Paris, can you share your screen in the BPT chat room?
Oh yeah, sorry. Let me
Sorry.
share my screen, guys.
Yep, thank you.
if NVIDIA can get down, we've got an inside day going on NVIDIA. If it can get down to 130, it could be an interesting long, sort of 130.20-ish area. That would be S4. Tesla's kind of opening up mid-range here, so can't really say if it's in a buying or selling. Yeah, Delta's interesting. They had, of course, they had earnings.
Amazon is interesting. Amazon is actually gapping up,
Yeah,
and it's actually getting out of the range as well. So Amazon seems to be interesting
yeah.
for a long.
That's what I was just looking at. Amazon's gapping higher and is out of what we call them trading range. Let's take a look at the at Bookmap on Amazon. It's got a lot of orders to the upside here. So why is Amazon up? Is that because of Prime Days yesterday?
Yeah, maybe. Nvidia is showcasing a little bit of strength before the market opens.
Okay. So good Prime Day. I helped out there. Bought a couple of white T-shirts.
So people in the chat room, you guys should be able to see my screen.
Okay, so it looks like the Tesla robotaxi event isn't until 7 p.m. tonight. So 7 p.m. Eastern time, or Pacific time, which would be 10 p.m. Eastern time. So probably broadcast on YouTube.
Okay, 45 seconds to the open.
So we're not really going to see any market effect on Tesla until tomorrow morning. So we'll see what happens there. Bob is kind of selling off. There's a level at 108 here.
Yeah, I'm thinking of shorting Delta in case it showcases a weakness at the open. Everything else is not looking that great. Okay, the market is open, guys.
There we go.
Tesla open weak. Nvidia is looking strong. Okay.
And D's looking a little weak again.
Nvidia seems to be weak now. Tesla opened weak as well.
Yeah. Tesla went red.
Yeah, Nvidia is weak too.
Markets are selling off a little bit here.
So Nvidia opened, it just completely reversed. Nvidia very strong now.
Crazy.
I'm taking a short on Nvidia, guys. I'm short on Nvidia. I'm short on Nvidia. Okay. So it did not drop at all. Here we go. This time I think it's gonna drop. Drop, 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 drop. Okay, it's keep buying up. So I think I'm getting out of it.
Yeah.
I'm getting out of it, guys. It's keep buying up.
I'm long Amazon 187.
So I got out at break
low.
even. Those two.
Still
They keep stepping up. That their long on Amazon was good.
yeah, it seemed like it bought back up through the VWAP. So okay, here we go. I'm just going to sell some here. 187.70, 64 filled. There we go. I think we're going to get to 188 here, maybe.
So Nvidia seems like it wants to drop again, but the buyers keep stepping up. That's not good, to be honest. So Amazon is a great long from here.
It seems like it. Trying to break out here. Now it's pulling back. Sitting at this area here is pre-market sort of high, which is why we're struggling here. It's looking for a push to 188 here. Come on. Just sold some more at 187.70. I'm kind of feeling like it's really struggling here at the pre-market high.
Delta sold off. Guys, I'm taking one more shot on Nvidia. We'll see if it drops this time. Stop above 132.25. Not a great entry. Yeah, it's gonna squeeze me out. Okay, I'm getting out. No reason for me to be a part of this.
Yeah, I'm out of Amazon. That just you could just tell it was starting to stall, which reason I cut it position second time at the same level. Let's see what it does now. Wow, Tesla's down at low of yesterday's low.
but Tesla is down. Nvidia is gonna squeeze up. I think it kept buying, so I think it's gonna squeeze up now. So
The Qs have had a couple of attempts at selling off, and they keep bouncing back.
Amazon turned out to be choppy more than. What is Tesla doing?
I'm
Tesla is
I'm
weak.
short. I'm short Tesla. Here we go. Guys, I'm using options with Tesla, but I am short Tesla. Just bought some puts at 750. Just gonna sell some here at 805.
Man, Nvidia squeezed to the upside. What a move!
Wow, look at that. Nvidia ripped. AMD is selling off. Amazon's dog's breakfast. Baba just choppy.
Amazon choppy too. Okay, I'm taking a short delta. At Delta Airlines at 50.03.
Looking for another leg lower here on Tesla, hopefully.
Delta doesn't have a good volume. That's the only problem. It's dropping though, but it doesn't have a good volume.
I think it's an NYSE stock, isn't it?
It is actually on YSE stock.
Yeah. There's another order showing up here on Tesla. They're kind of front running that 238, which I'm not, hopefully we'll get into that. Feeling like there's a buyer here that's supporting it now. It's not going to drop. Not going to get another leg lower. Hopefully we do. Still profitable on Tesla trade, so I'm happy with that. And I'll keep it profitable.
That was a good shot for 240 on Tesla. It was a good shot.
Yeah. Tell Tesla to drop, Paris. You have. It seems to listen to you. All right. At zeros, what did you traded NVIDIA by the looks of it? That was nice. NVIDIA went green on the day. There's definitely a seller there on Tesla. Just stuck in they're stuck in a war between a buyer and a seller here right now.
Yeah.
And hopefully the seller's going to win.
Delta Airlines is not doing anything that I'm.
It's interesting.
It's actually coming to my area.
A lot of red on the screen today. There's pretty much all the indexes are down. Okay, this is where I want to see this. It looks like it might roll over here on Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla is weak.
Come on, dip into that. There we go. There we go. That's what I want to see. Ah, you bastard. Excuse me. I shouldn't say that. Are you bugger?
You
So
son of a
NVIDIA
gun.
is-
You son of a gun. They're screwing around with it. That was I got all excited because it just looked like it was just starting to roll over there, and that buyer came back in again.
Also, Brian, Andrew swears all the time, so I think you're fine.
Yeah, I know.
The only position that I am in is Delta. Nvidia is strong. Amazon is doing nothing. What is Apple doing? Yeah, Apple is just doing a pullback. I think Tesla and Nvidia are the stocks to play. Delta is actually doing something.
I'm out of Tesla. The rest of Tesla. So still not a bad trade, but disappointing because it just thought it had more. It probably still has more downside, but I'm not gonna. But I have to honor my stops.
Okay, covering some on Delta. Covering some on Delta.
Yeah, Tesla. Damn, it's going to go back down again. Maybe not. I don't know. There's definitely a buyer there around 239. Nvidia's got a lot of orders to the upside. Look at all those orders. I don't know if it's going to get there or not. I'd be tempted to short Nvidia if all these orders weren't here, because we're right at R3. AMD came back up to the VWAP. Qs are kind of making a bit of a move here, move up.
Amazon is trying to come back up.
Yeah, Amazon's horrible trading right now.
Okay, Delta is gonna drop. I can't believe I'm getting $1 out of Delta.
Yeah.
Actually, not $1, $0.50 here for now. What is Baba doing? Baba is.
Baba sold off. I
Baba
was able
actually.
to get out of my. I held some Baba over Tuesday. I was able to get out of it yesterday, almost flat on Wednesday. Thank God it came back up. Looks like the Qs maybe want to break out. Yeah, everything's kind of choppy right now. Amazon's right back at the near high of day, but I don't trust it. Nvidia's dropping.
Tesla rejected on the VWAP.
Yeah. AMD
Wow, what
rejected at the.
a
I
rejection.
know.
Tesla.
I knew it. I knew it.
That was a
Dagnabbit.
bad rejection. This is like a.
Dag. I knew that thing was going to drop.
Now Nvidia
Boom.
wants to
The
drop to
market's.
any news. I think there is some news. There has to be some news. Oh man, what a
No,
drop
there
on
was.
Tesla.
No, there wasn't. I don't know what came out, but there wasn't anything scheduled. Oh, you, jeez, that kills me.
Oh,
Now
man.
those puts are trading at almost $10. Dang.
Oh my God.
It's trading over $10 now. Dang nammit. Dang nammit. Oh well, c'est la vie.
Everything is selling off. There has to be something. This
Yeah.
cannot be. I think Tesla came out with something. Are they delaying the robotaxi event?
It was supposed to be on August 8th. Yeah, I don't know what news came out, but the whole market dropped. The
Yeah.
SPY and the Qs took a big leg.
So Nvidia is back below VWAP.
Jeez, that's painful to watch. But anyway, everything's dropping. Amazon dropped. AMD low of day. I don't know. It's hard to chase this down now.
Yeah.
I should have, coulda, shoulda, woulda, but I should have reshorted Tesla at the VWAP.
Yeah, Gary. Everything is dropping but Delta Airlines. I'm still in Delta
Yeah,
though.
Look at crowd go. Yes, baby. If you watch my swing trade videos on the weekend, you'll know I was watching crowd. I'm long crowd now from a couple days ago.
Yeah, Delta seems like it doesn't want to go drop.
That's pretty sweet. I wonder why crowd's up so much. It's kind of interesting. You can
Tesla dropped like $7 so far. Nvidia never gave a chance to short again. I was thinking of if it gives me a pullback, I'll short, but never give a chance.
Wow, Tesla's down at 6. Wonder if I should do a look at doing a reversal on this. Kind of late now. Comes back down maybe. Qs and SPY are bouncing back.
What is the... I think NVIDIA...
Took a bit of a long on Tesla just to see if it can bounce here. This is S6 235.60. Still looks weak. All right, just I'm playing this with options again, so just going to sell some 755, playing the 235 calls. Getting out some more. 770.
So this was, NVIDIA is around the area that I wanted to short.
The Qs and the SPY are bouncing back now. Yeah, I don't know what was that.
Yeah, Tesla is weak, man. Tesla is weak.
I got out of the rest. I'm out of the rest of my calls there. But that was a nice, got a nice little bounce off S6. Yeah, trying to figure out why we dropped there. Tesla's too weak. I think people are starting to think about selling before the robotaxi event. Obviously,
Yeah,
a lot of volume there. Sort of buy the rumor, sell the news. Sell the news before the news now. Okay, NVIDIA's trying to come back up through the VWAP, getting rejected.
guys, I'm taking a long Amazon. Just to see if it goes for a break of high of the day. Stop loss below 187.
Baba went red.
So Amazon is popping up. We'll see if it comes back to break the high of the day. Nvidia held at 131.75 area.
Yeah, it's above. It's kind of above the VWAP now. So we're back long Tesla again.
So Amazon looks like it wants to break the high of the day.
Yeah, it does. This is the area where it keeps getting rejected.
Okay, selling some on Amazon. That was a nice pop.
Yeah. I'm selling some Tesla. Still using those 235 calls. Now I'm selling some at 1775.
I'm all out on Delta Airlines, guys. I stopped out at break even. I'm all out on break even on Delta. It doesn't seem like I'm just gonna concentrate on Amazon. Amazon is the uh, deal for
Yeah.
now.
Look at this. The Qs and the SPY came ripping right back after that sell off. The buying brigade came in. They never fail. Jared's liking Tesla as well.
So Sehmet, this is my fourth trade. I took two on Nvidia, one on Delta, and one on Amazon. And currently break even so far. Nvidia is actually held the 131.75.
I'm going to sell some more of these 235 calls. 790. Ooh, 795 filled.
I'm thinking of adding more on Amazon.
CrowdStrike's looking good.
Okay, I'm adding more on Amazon, guys. I'm adding more on Amazon. It's holding up nicely.
Yeah, I think we are going to get a gap fill bill. Gap fill bill. Well, same reason as reason I took the long on Tesla was this. We were down at this S6 level, and it was really getting oversold, and I just felt like this was an area where at the very least it was going to bounce from.
Amazon is gonna squeeze, guys, to the upside.
I'm just going to sell. I'm selling more of these calls on Tesla. 830. Nice. Careful with Tesla. We're at the 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart. This is often an area we get a rejection. Just see what's going to happen here. I don't see a lot of orders to the upside, so we could be heading to the VWAP, but there's still lots of orders here to the downside on Tesla.
Amazon is popping up, guys. Boom, 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 boom. Covering some. Uh, very nice
What's that
pop.
one? Boom, boom. There, out go the lights.
I think it's gonna continue going higher. Amazon is strong. What is Apple doing? Everybody's talking about Apple.
Excuse me.
Nothing crazy. So let's see how much Amazon does have the.
Wow. See, what did I tell you? Rejection on Tesla right at the 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart. Which Paris, one of your favorite? No, this Andrew's one of Andrew's favorite lines. These levels are magic.
Yeah, these levels are magic.
Was that you? Was that you, or was that Andrew? I can't remember.
That's Andrew.
Which one?
Yeah, that's Andrew.
Oh, okay. There you go. Wow, Nvidia's right back up a high of day, rejecting at R3 again right now. See if it's got some upside. Still lots of orders to the upside on Nvidia. No positions for me right now. I'm just.
I am currently in Amazon. Yeah, I'm currently in Amazon, and I think it's gonna squeeze to the upside. I think it's gonna break the 188 and hold the 188.
And everybody out there, if you are interested in options, I've been taking a few options trades this morning as well. You can always check out my book if you want to learn more about options and day trading options. How I trade options on my book, How to Trade Options. It's there on Amazon. All different formats if you like e-reader or whatever. Peter's obviously having trouble with his right now, but crowd continues to show lots of strength here.
Yeah, Nvidia is also showcasing strength.
Wow.
And
What
Nvidia
is
is actually
going on?
looking for a breakout.
What's going on with crowd this morning? Not that I'm complaining. For you Canadians out there, I know there's not a lot, but maybe a few. There's you can trade all of these, a lot of these popular stocks with Canadian funds. So if you go to your broker and just enter the Nvidia ticker, you'll have an option to buy Nvidia in Canadian dollars. And so I've got right now I've got a lot of CrowdStrike in Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar. It's it must be an ETF. It's foreign current, or it's currency hedged. So if there's a small movement in the dollar versus dollar, it's hedged that way, but I don't really see that as a big deal. It's just a way to trade. If you've got an RSP or whatever, you can trade some of these mega stocks or in Canadian dollars.
So Amazon is not looking that strong.
No, it's struggling at the pre-market high. It's where it's at right now, or where it was. What was saying about crowd?
So I'll have to get out on Amazon if it doesn't bounce from here.
Interesting. I don't know what's going on with crowd. Well, Tesla's Tesla has finally broken through the 9 EMA. I think the next level that probably should be watching if you're long Tesla should be watching the VWAP, which is just around 237, so another $1 from here. Nvidia tried to break out and rejected. So Jared's trading sell H. That's a nice move. Celsius Holdings. Ugly daily chart. But maybe finding a bottom here. Well, for those who are checking out Spot Gamma, we've had them on before. There's a there's a big player who for the last couple of mornings has been putting on a really big iron condor on the SPY. So basically sort of bracketing a couple of levels and just betting that the market's going to chop sideways, and those puts and calls they're selling are going to end up in the money, or not in the money, going to end up expiring worthless. And obviously with an iron condor, they've got them hedged. So yeah, snow's seen snow doing. Yeah, snow is breaking out here on a second day.
Guys, I added more on Amazon.
It's got a gap to fill. It's got a big gap to fill. 133 on snow. Snow's at R4, so just be careful. This is probably where we could get a rejection.
Yeah, very nice trading, Ellie. Yeah, very nice. Very nice trade on Tesla. Nvidia actually popped up, looked very strong around this area.
Yeah, Nvidia is breaking out. As I said before, Nvidia's got all these orders up here: 134, 135, big order at 135.
I want Amazon trade to work out now. It's this is gonna be this is the fourth trade on the day, and I think if it holds this area, I'm gonna add a little more on this. Yeah, I'm adding more, guys. I'm adding more on Amazon. I think it is holding. No, man. Come on.
Amazon does have some orders here. 188. It's also a big order at 187.
Yeah, I think it's gonna stop me out, Amazon. Okay, I'm gonna stop out, guys. Yeah, that was a bad loss for me.
Kind of stuck in a range. This
Yeah,
pre-market high, on Amazon, which is pretty much exactly where we couldn't get above at 188.02.
yeah, man. That was a bad loss.
I took a small short on Snow. I don't like the spread on this sometimes, but it was really stalling at R4. So
Tesla is actually slowly coming back up.
yeah, it's at the VWAP now. I'm going to cover some Snow at 122.80. This was just a sort of double top right at R4, so we're playing it for an R4 rejection.
Nvidia is the strongest ticker so far. That's the
Yeah, it's at R4 right now too. But that's an example of a stock I don't think I would short here at R4. This just has too many orders to the upside. The book looks way too bullish. Probably is going to do a bit of a pullback here at R4, but again, I feel like the buyers are in control on NVIDIA. Very strong CVD, so cumulative volume, extremely strong. Lots of mostly buying, and it's just been getting stronger and stronger as the day goes on.
Tesla almost recovered from the sell-off.
Yeah. It's come back up. It's about halfway back up. I wish I had more calls.
Yeah, Nvidia is looking strong, guys. Nvidia is good. I'm glad I'm out on Amazon. Amazon is selling off.
Yeah,
What an idiotic thing. It literally broke
yeah.
out from the range and now it's
Amazon's terrible trader today. It's really choppy. Okay, I'm still got a bit of snow left, but I'm just looking to see if it's going to hold this 9 EMA or if we're going to bounce off it and retest this R4 level.
so a big ask at 134 on Nvidia. So nothing interesting for me to get into a position yet. I am down on the day. I think Tesla is the only thing that looks like it wants to come back.
Yeah.
But would you be able to hold the pullback if it starts selling off? That's the question. And from a risk reward standpoint, it's just
Yeah, Tesla's still strong. Wow. Yeah, makes.
oh, I think my battery got discharged. My camera battery, not my battery.
Here we go. Here we go with snow.
So now things are selling off. What is the SPY selling off?
Brian Paris and BBT chat,
Yeah.
YouTube chat.
Yes,
Just to let
sir.
you know, we're going to have John on at 10:30.
All
And
right.
he has some charts to show us. I'm not quite sure what he's going to talk about, but I know it's going to be good. So stay tuned.
Well, it's
Awesome.
It's always good with John. John's one of our excellent traders. Likes to trade breakouts. So everybody's in for a treat.
Oh, absolutely. John is the guy who is so disciplined about trading just one strategy. It's
Yep.
not even funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. Yeah. He sticks with just one strategy. It's amazing.
so. So I'm not in any of the trades right now, guys. It's 10:22, and Amazon is selling off. So good that I'm out on the trade and stopped out on it.
Yeah, I'm sitting at 122.50 for. Oh, here we go. Just got filled on snow. This is right at the 20 EMA. On the 2-minute chart. Yeah, Qs and SPYs selling off.
The Qs inspired. The Tesla is looking strong. Like Tesla is at this point, it's looking.
Yeah,
It wants to buy back.
Tesla still looks strong. See what the book looks like. Yeah, little bullish.
Nvidia is doing a little bit of pullback. Amazon selling off.
Yeah, Nvidia pulled back to the 9 EMA 2-minute chart, bounced off that. Qs and SPY kind of rolling over, but again, we really haven't done very much in this institution that's putting on these iron condors. Probably know what they're doing. So we had some good trades. Brendan traded AMD. Very nice. One of our moderators, Gabrielle. Wow, looked like he took almost the same trade as Brendan. Very nice, very nice. Another one of our members, Vlad, traded, looks like NVIDIA, based on the price. And Jared's thinking this low on Tesla might be the sort of bottom that has been established, this 233 area. Let's see. I don't know. I think the reaction, it's going to be interesting tomorrow after this Tesla robo-taxi event. I think it's going to be quite interesting to see what the market reaction is going to be because, as I mentioned before, Elon always has a bit of a history of over-promising and under-delivering. So, and he still seems to always get a pass, but the initial reaction. We'll see what the initial reaction is to his robotaxi event.
You don't say, Brian.
I really hope they bring out that guy, that the robot guy, the dancing robot guy in the white suit.
Let me see if I can find that.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun though. It's amazing to see how technology is changing so quickly.
Totally, yeah.
As and it's gonna be
Oh,
fun
fun.
trading Tesla tomorrow. It is absolutely for sure. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, should be. Thanks for the shout out. I guess it's Elio. Appreciate that.
Brian, I got something special for
Yes.
you.
Okay, perfect. It's Elon's robot. I love it.
Are we going to have a dancing car? Somebody in a car outfit?
Yeah, here you go. Elon's enjoying that in the back there.
I think the thing about the technology is nobody's questioning whether that technology would be possible in the future. It's whether
Right.
Elon Musk can deliver that, which, you know, as you said, he overpromises and underdelivers.
Yeah. Well, he's got to deal with the fact too that there's already Waymo and I think one other company, is it Google, that already has operating driverless cars in some cities. So he's got to kind of leapfrog over those people that are already established. And my understanding, and again, I'm not an expert, but my understanding is that the Tesla technology relies primarily on cameras, and Waymo and these other companies are using cameras and lidar. So a bit of a additional layer of technology there. So
I guess we'll see tonight.
yeah, anybody in the room actually ever been in a driverless car? I personally haven't.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
me. I do it every single day. I drive Tesla self-driving feature every single day.
Oh
Yeah,
It is
but
God,
no, I'm
how
not.
can
I'm
you
not
do
talking
that?
about. I'm not talking about using
yeah,
Tesla
driverless
in
car. Yeah,
self-driving.
yeah. I've been to one in San Francisco.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm asking. Who's
Yeah,
actually been in a taxi where there's no driver?
yeah.
I guess it's a little freaky at first, and then it just you kind of just get used to it. It's like any new technology.
I agree. But I love it. I come from a technological background, so I can see what's happening inside the background of the user interface. So I
Right.
really enjoy that.
Okay, we're just going to wait
Wow,
for
NVIDIA.
John to come on, and then we'll switch over. But
Yeah.
I'll let you
Okay.
guys know.
Perfect. All right,
Okay,
guys. Well,
awesome.
like I said, I hope everyone had a good day. I mean, a few trades on Tesla today, which gave some great opportunities, and also gave me some heartburn when it really did break down hard there. And I got stopped out of that trade, but overall, not a bad day.
Yeah,
Did,
for me, I'm
yeah,
red
go
on the
ahead.
day. Sorry, 4 trades, 2 break evens, 1 stop out, and 1 bad loss. So I'm red on the day. We'll be looking for more opportunities if something comes up, or else we'll call it. But yeah, overall, nice hanging out on your YouTube.
Oh,
Nice hanging out with you, Brian. I think you took some great trades on and Tesla and Nvidia both.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
so kudos
Yeah.
to you,
Thank you.
and yeah,
Is
and thanks for hanging out
is
with us in YouTube. See you tomorrow in the
right
chat room.
on. Is John ready to come on, Brent?
Yep, he's ready to go. But
Okay.
before I transition to him, just go and give you one last taste.
John, with John Stewart had something similar on. Kind of the same guy. He's got quite the moves, though. I got to say, from someone who, someone who came out of the disco and the Soul Train era. I got to say, he's got some pretty smart moves there. So,
Groovy.
all right, after dating myself, I'll call it for now. Have a good rest of the morning, everybody. Joy.
All
Okay,
right,
guys.
adios. John, hi, you're live. Welcome.
Hi, Brent. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Not too bad. Tricky market this morning. I think, I don't know. I was probably biased long with the SPY. Every time the SPY finishes at an all-time high, the next day I'm kind of like, let's go. And so we're not exactly doing that, but that's fine.
That's fine. It never does what you want, right?
It never does. Yeah. That's why I don't do any pre-market prep. I don't do anything before 9:30. I actually come to my computer right around the open, right, like a minute before, and I don't even want to see the mark. I don't really want to know the sentiment or the alleged sentiment or anything. I just want to find my setup. So I really try not to even be bothered by seeing what's going on in the morning, which is probably not what most people do, but it's what I do.
I like watching Brian trade because it reminds me even the most professional person that I know will watch a stock and just say, "Come on, just go up," or "Come on, just go down."
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I do that too. So yeah, I don't feel alone.
If you could hear the things I say, Brent, when the microphone's off, I am going nuts here. It's hard not to get emotional.
Okay, take it away.
Well, yeah, so I don't know. I was struggling with what to talk about this morning, so I thought I'd talk about a trade I took yesterday, which is a fun setup that I don't see very often, but when it's there, it can be really good. And I just call it the break of an intraday level. I don't know what you would call it. Usually I trade break a high day trade. So like, just like this morning, just like every single day, 98.5% of the time, I'm taking high a day break trades. And if I'm not taking one of those, the other 1.5% is pretty much this break of an intraday level trade that you see here. So a lot of people ask, like, what do you do if, the market's selling off or things aren't at their highs? Do you just not trade? And the answer is yes. I mean, again, 98.5% of the time, I just don't trade. There's nothing wrong with that. You should be waiting for your setups. And that's why I don't do any pre-market prep either, is because it's kind of irrelevant. If my setup happens, it happens. And it's not really based on anything in the pre-market or any kind of news or anything like that. But there is this opportunity every so often to take the break of an intraday level trade, and where it's basically the exact same trade to me as a high day break, except that with a high day, you really only need the high day established at one point, at least the way I trade it. So, a stock's going to go up to its highest point and it's going to pull back, and that's the high day. And then that's the point at which I'm trying to break it over if the conditions set up correctly. It's not the mere fact that a stock is at its high of day, but there's other conditions involved as well. But the point being, for the high a day, it just needs a singular point to set a high. For this trade, we want like multiple points of resistance. It could be support as well. I just always trade to the long side, so I'm just looking for a long trade. But you can see here on Meta yesterday, lots of resistance here. Actually, what is this level? I should have, let me bring up my own version of this. It was right around it was 589.30, thereabouts. Not to the penny, but over and over again, right around 5 89.30. And if you look in the 5-minute chart there, you can see it's fairly precise. I drew that horizontal, like magenta colored line there, and you can see how closely that matches the tops of all those candlesticks, all the wicks there, right? Every time it gets up to 589.30, it sells off. So that becomes the level of interest, because if you can play the break of that resistance, you can get a nice breakout. That's how breakouts work. Breakouts, breakups, breakdowns. You want to trade through a level that's been difficult, but you want to find the place where it's finally going to break. So I don't trade this on a 5-minute. I trade it on a 1-minute. But I was on the microphone yesterday with Mike late in the day. It was with less than 2 hours left in the market. And I saw this opportunity. So if you go to the next slide there, that's where I actually executed it on the 1-minute chart. And you can see the entry. Can you go left a little bit on that, Brent? If not, it's okay. But yeah, right there, you can see that same resistance, right? We were looking at it before on the 5-minute chart, but now it's just a little more well-defined on the 1-minute. You can see the individual 1-minute candles. And we're looking for the place where that's going to come through with some volume and what I like to call a punch. Like, I want to see the candles like kind of exponentially punch up, parabolically almost punch up to that level, and then try to get through it. And if you look on the 5-minute, I don't know if you could go back, Brian, I'm sorry to make you go back and forth, but if you go back to the 5-minute chart, if you go down to the volume below the original entry, you can see very clearly the volume building on the 5-minute. Unfortunately, I don't trade this on the 5, so it's not as evident. But if you look at the volume below the initial entry there, do you see it? Do you see the volume stepping up like a set of stairs there as it starts to push up to that level? You can see like just like 4 white bars there stepping up in volume. If you go back to the 1-minute and look at the volume below the initial entry, you'll also see there's a similar step up in volume, but it's not as clean as those stairs. But you can see it. I mean, look at all the volume prior to the entry, right? That would be like before, if you can see the time hacks down at the bottom, before 1420, you see all that volume there. There's one big spike in volume back around 1353 or something. Big old spike there that didn't do much. And then there's just real low volume, low. And then it starts to build. There's more interest coming into Meta as it starts to make that punch up to the intraday level. And that's where I place my bet, basically. I say, all right, here comes some real interest, right? There's some buyers and sellers really going to hash it out. And if it's going to break, it's more likely to be this moment here. So it took the entry there. It did do what I call the little stutter step at first. You can see that it didn't break on the candle I bought. It broke on the one just after that, when again some more volume came in. And then it started to go. And you can see throughout the trade, I took a rather quick partial because, to be honest, Brent, I was in the chat room and I kind of wanted to get a win. So if I could take a partial, that'd be like, the trade worked. So I probably took that one a little paper-handedly, a little bit early. Then after that first partial, that first red triangle, I could really feel it like starting to rip. And I was like, oh, we're in something interesting here. Meta's actually moving very, very nicely. So before I took any more money, I actually added to the trade. You can see the next green triangle. That's an add. And then the second red triangle up there is another partial. You can see that's a great partial because it's right at the tippity top of some price movement. It pulled back. As it goes to break the new high a day, I add in again. Took another partial, another good partial, which is pretty much at the tippity top of what it did for the entire day, right up there. And then the last red triangle you can see there is where the shares are stopping out at break even. So when we add to trades like this, what happens is if you look at the initial green triangle for the initial entry on the trade, obviously when you enter there, that's your cost basis. They call it your average cost. That's what your shares, so it's the price you're buying at. So anything below that is a loss. Anything above it is a gain, and getting out right at that price is what we call break even. So as we're adding to this trade, we're actually pulling the break even stop up higher and higher. And the trick is when I add to these trades is I want to add shares that will meaningfully impact the profit, right? We want to add, I don't want to add like 2 shares of Meta. I want to try to add 50 or 100 or whatever, but I don't want to add so much that it pulls my average price too close to the current price action. And that's what you got to be careful of well, if you're adding like I am on new high a day breaks, like we want to add meaningfully to the trade, but we don't want to pull the price too close to the price action, because you got to let it play out a little bit, right? So what I'll actually do is I have a calculator and a spreadsheet, and as I'm in the trade, I initially entered this trade. I don't know what the initial entry was, like call it 589.20, something around there. I get in with an initial X amount of shares, and then then I partial and I sold some, and then I'll open the calculator and I'll say, okay, if I got 100 shares of Meta remaining at this price, if I add another 50 shares at this price on the new high day, at the new high day, what does that do to my average cost? I'll calculate the new average cost and I'll see where it lands. And I'll actually try to adjust the amount of shares so that new average cost sits below some kind of level that might provide support. So it could be something as simple as the next dollar level. So if you look, Meta went through 590. So what I might be looking to do is add into that trade. And I think actually this is what I did do. Add into the trade, but keep the average cost below 590, because what level might hold? 590 might, because it's a big fat, it's a dollar level, it's a decade level, and it might try to defend there, so that it might give you a better chance of staying in the trade, rather than adding so many shares that I bring my average cost to like 590.19, for example, in which case I don't have that protection. So that's the essence of the trade, but I thought people might be interested in that, because I know a lot of people, they're interested in the high day break trade. That's fine, but people do sometimes become a bit frustrated that it's not available, all the time. That, to me, that's just the nature of trading. But to offer somebody who's trading that type of setup an additional strategy, you might consider this intraday level break. Oh, but what I didn't point out about this, actually, if we could go back one more time to the 5-minute break, I'm sorry. But what you want to see here, I think I was getting at this point, but I didn't quite drive it home. You want to see multiple levels of resistance. So we see that here, you can see it on the 1 or the 5, but you see, we can count them almost. We can see the wicks that actually touch that line. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's at least 4 that exactly touch that level. That's some nice, precise resistance. And that's what you want to see on these trades, like multiple, I'd say at least 3 times that it tested. 2's not quite enough. 3, you're beginning to get really interesting. And then sometimes you'll see stocks that test 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the more the better. And that just means that resistance, if it will break, is that much more lucrative. But again, you got to pick the point where the price actually punches up, the candles come in fast, the volume's building. There's clearly more interest. You don't want to enter on the next low volume nothingness, because that's just not likely to break through. You gotta pick your moments in trading. There should be a reason why you say not this time, not this time, not this time. Okay, this time. So why would it be that one time you choose? In trading, it's so much. It all comes down to volume. It's just if you're trying to catch a move, you got to be getting in where other people are getting in as well.
So you really want to see like a staircase kind of pattern, right?
Really, you don't always get it that clean, because again, if you go back and look at mine, like I actually entered on the lowest volume bar of the new growing area of volume. Like I clearly entered in an area where the volume was like growing, if you look on the 1-minute volume, but I actually entered on the one bar that actually was the lowest. So it's kind of a bummer, because it was like, did I catch the top again? Which is possible, if that volume doesn't stay, increased relative to what it had been, then that could be dangerous. But you can see on the very next candle, the volume kicked back up and it came back in. And so again, look at the volume after my entry on the 1-minute chart. Look at the volume before my entry. That's the difference, right? We want to find where all the players are piling in. And we call them buyers because the price is going up. And yeah, that's what's happening, is people are hitting the offer more than they're hitting the bid. And that's what causes prices to go up. People are just willing to pay the top price. We're going to where the sellers are. The sellers aren't coming down to where the buyers are. But ultimately, every transaction in the market is a buy and a sell. It's just about whether or not, whether or not you paid what that person wanted to sell their house for, or whether the person selling the house had to, give what they could get to get out of the neighborhood. That's how the market works.
For there to be a
So yeah,
winner, there needs to be a loser, right?
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
but everything's a transaction. That's the interesting thing. Is we use phrases, like there's all buyers when price is going up, and yeah, but yes, there's buyers. Not just they're buying that, but they're buying the offer. That's what's happening. But if anyone has a question about this, I'd be happy to answer. But I haven't traded one of these intraday level breaks in a while, and so I caught that one in the room yesterday. It was kind of fun. I was happy to do that.
Okay, let's take some questions.
And as I
look
sit
for
here,
something.
NVIDIA is going for a new high day.
Is it? Wow. Okay.
There, Ivan's got a question. Are there any
Yeah.
indicators you use? Ivan, I have removed a lot of indicators from my charts. So I don't have any moving averages. I don't have VWAP. I don't have any pivot levels, Camarilla pivot levels or otherwise. No MACD, no RSI, no Bollinger Bands. What do I have on my charts? I like things that are horizontal, Ivan. To be honest with you, I think those are the levels that I care about. So previous day close, yesterday's high, pre-market low, the high from 2 days ago. Those tend to be the most important levels for me. You got to remember, again, like I said, I'm almost always trading high day breaks, which makes a lot of levels irrelevant. So VWAP is an irrelevant level because it's always below where I'm trading at. Just by definition, VWAP can't be above the high a day. It has to be below it. And, it sits somewhere pretty close to between the low and the high of the day, somewhere in the middle there. So I don't use that. But yeah, I like levels that I know the entire market sees the same way. And what I mean by that is you take volume weighted average price. It's a very interesting level. It's not the same on every trading platform, though. It depends on what data that platform is receiving in order to calculate VWAP. So if some platforms are getting more data, they're getting more information about shares bought and sold. They literally have more volume on which to base it on. So the level doesn't end up being in the exact same place. I know that's been an issue with Camarilla pivots. They don't always end up in the same place on every trading platform. So I like levels that I know we all see in the same place. And a great example is the previous day close. So on DOS, by default, it's this like dotted black line. You can actually see it on the screen right now. It's above the high a day on Meta. It's up there. It's up around looks like 593 on Meta on that 1 minute chart. That's everybody sees the previous day close in the same place. I don't care if you're an anchor on CNBC, you go to Yahoo Finance, you go to FinViz, you go to Trading Terminal, you go anywhere, you go into DOS or Thinkorswim. The previous day close is always the exact same place to the penny. So you can guarantee the entire market, everybody sees it in the same place. And that's what makes it such a powerful level. Yesterday's high is the same thing. To the penny, everyone's going to see it in the exact same place. It's indisputable. It's always exactly the same. But some things aren't. So I'm just not a fan of it. I want to play the strongest level. So I'm looking for the ones that I know for a fact we're all seeing in the same place.
John, let's take one more question from the BBT chat room. I like this one from Homer Doe. How many days a week do you get at least one decent trade? Like, it's nice to see this in 2020, this trade work out for you. But how often do you get this set up in a week?
This one,
Something like this.
break of the one we're talking about with the multiple points of resistance, they're very rare. I'd say the ones that really interest me. To be honest, I don't look for them a hell of a lot because I'm usually done trading on high a day breaks, and these are later in the day trades, and often I'm just gone and I'm not trading anymore. So it's a little hard to say. You might be hard pressed to find a really good one every day. Maybe one a day. If you're really looking for them, if you're really on the hunt for them, you probably might see one or two a day, maybe. But high day breaks I see every single day, and you see them in bear markets. That's the funny thing. People think like, oh, if you're trading the breaks of highs, that what happens in a bear market, it must never happen. It happens a lot, in fact, because what happens in weaker markets is they often, they sell off the day prior, then they open up the next day, they're selling off again, but they will do these dead cat bounces. People will try to save the market, like, oh, come on, let's push it, let's save it here, and often in a bear market, the first 30 minutes are really nice for high day breaks. It's just, you got to be careful as the day starts to go on. When the next bearish day starts to reveal itself, you don't want to be fighting that too much later when it's like establishing a trend. So high day breaks every day, pretty much. This intraday level break trade, less for sure.
Great. Amazing. I think we can wrap it up here, unless you have any wisdom for the Tesla event tonight. What's your prediction?
I don't know. I saw some weird video of like Elon hitting a Cybertruck with a hammer. Did you see that on?
Is that recent? Let me take a look.
Yeah. It was a little teaser video last night, and it was dark. Like I think it was Elon. You can't even tell if it's him. There's someone in the shadow, and they appear to have like a sledgehammer, and they hit a vehicle, and I think it's a Cybertruck, but you almost can't tell. So I was curious, like, is that the vehicle? Are they going to release some hardware? I don't know. I don't really know. I think because they delayed it, though, that's what interests me, because some people think it's going to be a big nothing burger, and then they're not going to have, it's going to be just a bunch of words. But if that's the case, they could have done that back in, August or whenever the original event was. So to me, they delayed it for something, which you would think would be hardware related.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see some kind of device. I don't know.
Okay. Pretty exciting. Okay. John, thank you so much. Do you have a upcoming webinar?
I do. October, I think it's the 31st. And I'll be doing lessons from our boot camp from P Capital Trading.
Perfect. Okay. Cheers, everyone. John, thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, YouTube. Thanks, BBT. Bye-bye.